Well, hi everybody. This is my most ambitious project that I've made to date so far in the new shop here. It's a bit more complex, but it's turned out fantastic. You're going to see me work through all the different areas of it. If you might recognize up there, that's the little nail gun case holder that I made before, and now all of it is 100% Tstak compatible. So we got double wide drawers coming out. We have an ability to stack units up on the top and on top of the nail gun holder. So let's follow along and see what happens. I'd like to ask if there's something you'd like to see me do better or improve on with any of these videos. Let me know down in the comments. I want to make things better. I want to make improved content. And Rex himself always wants to make things that you enjoy watching. Take care, and let's follow along. Okay, a little time on the table saw and Bosch glide saw, and all the tops and bottoms are done. I cut it mainly because this is the width I had to 41.75 inches. When I take away 3/4 of an inch for the middle divider and then 3/4 of an inch over here, it's going to work out to about 19.75 inches between the two sides on both sides. I've decided to split it so that I can put drawer slides on either side, and that will allow me to pull out one or the other side of the bottom sort of section. When I have the drawer slide in here, the top of that will be routed out for receiving the bottom, sort of nubs of the Tstak case, so that I'm going to be able to, organize them up. My calculations let me know that I should be able to get 3 or 4 of the single-sized Tstak on each side. So there's going to be lots of room there. And on top of the one of the tops is going to be routed in for the Tstak on one side and on the other side. That will allow me to put my nail gun holder on one side, and then another Tstak, probably the ones with the drawers on it, on the opposite side. So it's coming along quite well. I'm just going to get some pocket hole screws out and some glue and go to town. All right, so carcass is done. This is a what kind of scrap do I have in the shop kind of project. So these are actually some IKEA shelves from the cabinets. You can see that that color does not match this color. I explained to them that when I got the order, they gave me the wrong ones. They were very assured that, nope, they gave me the right ones. And also, I was past some due date or whatever, because by the time I bought the cabinets and then installed them, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, I wasn't going to argue. So, they're now sides. It'll work. Pocket holes. Everything's pretty darn square. It's not perfect. Don't know why, but if you look at it here, it's within a hair. So, time to move on. I'm going to let the glue all set up, and then I got to cut a backer board. I'll probably have to do it in 2 pieces because I don't have a piece of scrap wide enough to do the entire back from the front to the bottom, but I can do the entire length. So that's tomorrow's project. Okay, so next morning, Rex and I are out here in the shop, and again, this unit is made entirely out of shop offcuts, scraps, whatever I could find to throw together. So it ain't gonna be pretty, it's just gonna be functional. I found a piece of OSB, 1/2 inch. It was used as a paint cloth and walk on. It was ugly, but it was narrow and long enough that it would 2 pieces would span from that end to this end. So I cut it in length, cut it the right width, and I'm just going to use 2 pieces. Down the middle will be some screws to help hold this all together, but it's going to work out perfect. Not as strong as one single sheet, but again, we're using up some scraps and clearing some room out of here. Now, it's all done up. I got it all level. Had to use a clamp to tweak it a little bit more that way at that corner, but it looks really good and square now. I find when I'm gonna screw into the end of MDF, these screws just split it off. But if I pre-drill and countersink and make sure the drill bit gets right to the end and make it a hair smaller than the shank of this, they hold pretty good, at least until the glue sets. It gives it a lot of stability. And again, I'm not going to be jumping on this thing. It's just going to be holding a few bits and pieces. It's going to take some weight, but it's not going to be taking shock loads. So I've had good success with this. My little stand that has held up tons and tons of weight has been made on the same construction. You can see it still has the same kind of pocket holes. It's all out of MDF with a plywood base. It's working good. So if that can stand up for about 10 years, this will probably do okay as well. Right, so everything's coming along nicely. I got all the panels screwed in the center row. I used 2-inch long pocket hole screws, the nice pan head. So they're gonna hold down the seam quite nicely. Everything's solid, everything's looking great. On the wheels, I pre-drilled the holes for some pocket screws, and I'm using the 1.25 inches, and they're holding really lovely. Not perfect, again, it's MDF, but I think these will do the trick. These are not glued in, so I can pull them off at another time. I also drilled out with a little stop gauge a little hole for the shaft of the wheel. So that way, if I ever want to take it off or use the wheels for something else, they're available. If the wire racks need wheels, I can find something else for this and use the ones I'm using here. So just trying to think ahead into the future. Okay, ready to roll, quite literally. I did inset the wheels a little bit from the outside because it's going to be a tight fit and I didn't want this, you know, kind of getting caught. The other thing is, I just didn't want it to sag too much in the middle. If there's too much weight on it, I don't think it will, but I found that insetting the wheels just a titch can help with that a little bit. So again, I don't think this is going to be stiff enough to withstand it. And then again, this to the area here should be good. So I think that's better than putting them right on the outside. My personal thought, I've done it before, seems to work. All right, it's on its wheels. It's looking good. I had to make a little bit of a modification on the wheels in the front. They were too far back, so it was kind of tippy this way. I haven't changed the ones in the back because nothing will be kind of going that way. My concern is that as I pull a drawer out to access one of the Tstak groups, it may flip forward or I have to deal with that. So I figured bring the wheels forward and then I only have to deal with that one direction. So now I need some 14-inch drawer slides, and I got to find something in the shop for little slide out drawers that I can router in my template. The next thing to do is to do up the top here. So that is going to be using the template. Oh, backwards. Yeah, backwards. There we are. So the top will have the components for that, so that I'll be able to stick any Tstak on top of that. There'll be one on that side, one on that drawer, one on that drawer. Then the project will be done. Don't you just hate it when you plan for one part of a project and it just doesn't work out? Ugh. Okay. I had to get these drawer slides because nowhere near me has the 14-inch regular, just standard sort of cheapo slides available. So $25 later with, you know, screws and all that kind of stuff. Never used these ones, so wish me luck. I have to redesign an entire new drawer now. That's okay. Lots of fun. So the inability to find the right hinges now changed the plan to the point where I'm going to have 2 side rails that are going to attach to the rails here, because I don't think a little nail or a little screw going into the end of this is going to do much as far as trying to hold weight. that'll just tear right through. So we're going to have a 3/4 inch piece of wood here. Then this, oops, is going to attach right to that. This will be attached to here by some glue and biscuits. I haven't used my biscuit joiner in a long time, but I've had good luck with using biscuits in this stuff, especially with glue and biscuits. I think it'll hold fine enough. I did have to pre-router this because the template has to fit in here with the lip, and it wasn't going to work with the router. So that's worked perfectly. So both drawers are routered. These are all done up. And now that I'm just thinking about it, this is exactly 15 inches deep. Well, I'm thinking just in case of clearance issues, I'm going to make that 14 3/4. I'm going to knock a quarter off of that, knock a quarter off of this, and call it a day. So, on to the next part. All right, I got one shelf in. So in order to get the right clearance and be able to pull this out and pull stuff off the stack here, I had to mount the rail right to the bottom of the cabinet. That was a bit interesting. I've never used these types of rails before, and do not use a standard screw because, again, if it's not perfectly centered, the sort of angle on the head is going to push it around. So I found that out pretty interestingly. I only have enough sort of cap head screws to just do the drawer slides, I think. I'll work that out. When we look at the design here, because I'm using just scraps, I had to get this as close to the bottom as possible here. I made these little sort of lips. Thankfully, I got just enough room to fit the Tstak side to side, and this allows me to raise it up just perfectly. So I have just about 1/8 of an inch gap there, and if I stack all these up, I can get 4 Tstaks, single level, on this with just enough room to spare. I'm going to put the other one in and get this all sorted out, and we'll go from there. Oh, also, as long as I just apply a little bit of pressure here, I can pull the whole thing out just pushing down on the Tstak. So that's going to make it easy getting the whole thing in and out. Hopefully it won't move around too much when I have it in place or when I got more weight on it. Okay, so I do have enough screws, the pan head type, to install this side. So the way I'm doing it, I'm putting a small shim just underneath the rail just to make sure it doesn't bottom out. Get it all lined up. I am just about 1/16 of an inch back of the front of the unit here. And I'm just going to pre-drill the holes and then put the little screws in and do that on both sides. So for these ones, don't use a standard fluted, screw with a head, at an angle. Use a pan head where it's flat with the screw coming out. That's been my experience with these things. So both drawers are in place. I'd have to say that it's turned out really good. The nice thing is I got a little bit extra room there, so if I throw something on top, then that's got room to go. The Tstak drawers, their bottom mounting is different. It actually utilizes a big, wide sort of dado, and it's really routed out for those little holes I made. Didn't realize that. So that can't go on the bottom here. Otherwise, it just slides around, and I can't use this whole thing. Because normally, if I just hold on to this, I can move the whole drawer back and forth by just pushing on that area. So, Tstak drawers will probably go up here. I do have a little bit of cranky back, so bending over for little things is not going to be, out of drawers is not going to happen. I lined up the top case with the whole stack, did some measurements. The way I'm going to get the template consistent from left to right, and because I know that the holes for the little feet are pretty much equal and centered on my little template, is once I got it looking good, I just got a set of my quick squares. I set one for the side, one for the front, and that way I can line it up perfectly. I have some painter's tape on the bottom. I'm going to a little bit of CA glue on both sides. So once I've marked out where this thing goes, I'll get that all done up, because I can't get a clamp on there. There's no way to get a clamp into the middle of this where I've been using it. So I'm going to try the CA trick. Hopefully it'll stay in place. If it doesn't, well, I'll have some funky holes on the top. Maybe I'll have to just put a hardboard liner on top of this. Who knows? Anyways, wish me luck. I'm going to give that a go, and I'll show you the outcome. So it's working out great. The template did exactly what it needs to do. These are perfectly aligned. The T-stacks sit on this beautifully. To do this, I used the painter's tape and CA glue trick, but my template has a warp in it. I don't know if you can see that, kind of dished this way. So when I put it down, it doesn't hold flat. So to get around that, I did the corners. So I made little marks exactly where each corner is. Piece of tape right close to the corner. A little bit of CA glue. And this lines up beautifully. And then we're good to go. So I'm going to do the second one, then I'll give you a final look at the entire cart all loaded up and ready to rumble. Alrighty, to make sure I get all the little bottom feet done up for the nail gun holder, I was able to resaw these to about the right thickness, and then sanded them down a little bit to get them closer. To cut the smaller feet, I have, again, cut down a small portion, set my fence the right distance away from the blade, and I'm just kind of easing these through nice and gentle. The miter gauge is set to a nice 90, keeps it consistent, allows me to bring it right up to there. And this is actually from my table saw, and it is actually just a perfect width away from the blade. So this is working good. As I'm going through, I'm using this little pusher just to kind of push that little piece all the way right through so it doesn't get jammed in the blade. It's working good. So the plan on getting the little bottom feet on the cabinet is going to be having these small little guys in there. It's, I don't know, about a 32nd, maybe a 64th of an inch just above the tabletop. It'll be sanded down so it's flush eventually. So this is going to be in place here. I'm going to glue the two back ones. Once that's done, I'm going to clean up the holes a little bit, maybe sand these down a little bit more, and then I'm going to put the 4 remaining in place, use the line-up holes here, and hopefully all the little feet will get in the right spot for this template at least. So wish me luck. Okay, all cut and sanded. My thought is whenever I'm doing custom work, I always batch out about 2 to 3 times as much as I need if it's small little parts like this. A, in case I make something new or try and reproduce it, or B, I break something. At least I have replacements. And it took me literally 2 minutes to do extras. All right, this has all turned out really, really well. When I look at what I was aiming for, it's a bit more ambitious than I had thought, but hey, it worked out good. We have over here the nail gun holder, which is Tstak compatible. We have Tstak case. The top of the unit has been routed with all the Tstak holes so that a Tstak container will fit right in there. If I want to, that fits nicely on a Tstak container. They're all working quite well. The bottom drawers work great. All we have to do, hold this in place, pull, it all comes out. That works exactly how I'd hoped. When I want to put it back, it's back. I think once it's loaded up with a few tools and a few other things, it's going to be fantastic. When I'm ready to do some other stuff, not that I'm going to be moving my nail gun container around very much, but that fits in there. And if I need to put a Tstak on top of that, it all works together. So I think this is a big success. What am I going to do with this color and that color? I don't know. I'll probably get some stain at some point in time, but it's shop furniture. I'm not going to worry too much about that. This is really functional. The only thing I might add, again, this is Christmas Eve, so my family's being very patient with me. I might do a second drawer across here and another one across there, so that I only have to move 2 cases at a time. I got lots of room between here, so I got enough space to put another one. And other than that, things are fantastic. I'd like to wish you all a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you believe in. Enjoy your time with your family, be safe, and take care.